music on just for a second, just because I like this song. It's Thursday. It is the 6th of October. And boom, just hit 10:20 my time. Likelihood of self-destruction for some of those individuals, and talked about it before, and no point in bringing it up again now. But the song made me happy, gave me a little bit of a good feel, and then I was having a little lane negotiation issue with the car next to me, and started getting a little adrenaline pumping into my system and thinking about punching that guy in the fucking face. But also falling into that trap of feeling helpless. And it's kind of a drastic word, helpless, but it's applicable because I was starting to feel like I didn't have control over what I was doing, that I was having some difficulty, I was falling behind, I was starting to feel overrun by things that needed to be done, unfinished tasks, and those are devastating to me. So I started to feel that that list was getting bigger and bigger and was getting out of control, and I wasn't going to be able to manage those. At least not in a timely manner. I just didn't. It was a matter of perception and perspective, and I really needed to identify and adjust, tweak that, and I did. And part of that recording a couple days ago was the beginning of that, and it's carried through the last couple of days. I've had a lot of move-outs for this month. It rivals any summer month, June, July, or August, and for September, end of September, beginning of October turnaround time. But ended up with about 13 units that were turning, either for one reason or another, and it was really, I was starting to get that anxious feeling like I just don't have enough time to do it. I'm not going to be able to provide the service that I need to provide in the way that I need to provide it, and it was bothering me, and I had to kind of step back and basically tell myself, I've got time, I have 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 time, instead of dwelling on I don't have enough time, which is where we get, that's where we run into doubt, we run into fear, and then those are the things that go through our head, and then we perpetuate that, we generate that, and it's very easy to lose track of that because it seems so real when you're living in it, and it's easy to look back on it and say, oh yeah, I could have changed that like that, and I did. But when you're existing in that, it's sometimes easier said than done, and that's where you start, by saying it. So I did. I just told myself, I've got the time to do this, I'll make this work. It's not a life and death situation. Nobody's going to perish if I don't get this move out done within this specific hour time frame. And the more I told myself that, the more I believed it, the more I felt it, and I made it happen. Morning. So while I was doing that, and it took me a little bit, it wasn't immediate. I had to tell myself, I had to say it, I had to run it through my head until I started to feel it, and then I had to reinforce that feeling to the point where I was like, it's real, that's the way it is, I have the time, I'm going to be able to get all this done, I have enough time to do it and have time left over. And I was able to change my reality just like that. 1, 2, 4. 2, 3, 4. So there we go. And then I have, my own personal things too. The things I do on a daily basis, my workout routine, my processing videos, doing some free time research on starting a business, and whatever other things that I do or need to do feel necessary in my daily life. And I forced myself to push the idea that I didn't have enough time, or that I was falling behind, or I was failing, out of my mind, and just kept telling myself, I have time, I am doing the things I need to do, everything is going to be good. And my finances, I was starting to feel panicky about our money for some reason too, that we didn't have enough money to do what we needed to do, that we're running short, that things were getting tighter, and again, I had to revert that. I had to push it out of my mind and say, you know, we've got it. We've got everything we need. We're getting everything we need to have done, and my mindset changed. I had to manually make it happen, but I got it and cleared, and I feel much better today about it. Yesterday, as I made that recording 2 days ago, so I had the rest of the day that I made that recording, and I felt better after that. But I got back to the office and I realized that I was just starting to let my desk get out of control again. I had a stack of management agreements in the center. I had my post-it notes all over the desk of tasks that needed to be completed or followed up on. I had notices to vacate. I had key return forms. I had several sets of keys on my desk, and I had 4 keys that came back from lock boxes. And these are the little things that I had made adjustments on earlier this year and cleared my desk off and said, I'm never going to let it get like this again. And it was nowhere near that point, but it was nowhere near that point again, but I was starting to see the start. I was starting to see it could easily snowball into where I had been before, and I was like, again, fear, guilt, anxiety, boom, hit me, and then I was in a bad spot. I mean, because those thoughts made me feel like I had lost control, that I was losing control, and it was just a matter of sitting down yesterday, and I didn't even really put that much effort or thought into it. I just started grabbing one post-it at a time and looking at it, and all right, I'm going to follow through. I'm going to do this, boom, 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 done. And the first couple hours of the day yesterday, I threw away a dozen post-its. I mean, I was just, all right, I'm going to follow up on this right now. And some of them just needed a quick phone call. Some of them just needed some quick research. Some of them needed a quick email. They're all very easy tasks, but there were so many of them there. It was overwhelming just because I was looking at the total of the number that was there and not the actual work involved in clearing them. And I got it down to like 5 or 6, and I felt good. I started grabbing paperwork, and there was things that I was holding on to that I didn't need to hold on to. Again, reflective in life, that the things that you hold on to that you can put away, you can file. You know, I had the key return forms of properties I've already been to. I generally hold them until I go do a move out, like this one. This one is still sitting on my desk because I hadn't been here yet. Well, I had a couple that I had already done. I had a couple sets of keys that I'd already ordered rekeys on, which I didn't need to keep those. So I was able to just discard some things. I was able to file some things, and I got them off of my desk. And again, symbolic of your life. It's taking those things that that baggage, those things you're holding on to, and not letting them build up and bog you down. And within the first couple hours of the day, I had completely changed my mindset. I had completely changed my focus and outlook on the week. And I was looking at the things I had already done during the week, and I had done a lot. But at one point, I was seeing it as I'd done a lot, but I still had a lot left to do. And I was able to shift it in my mind and take all those things out and put them back in and say, all right, well, I've done all these. I've made a lot of progress based on the time it took me to do those, and I'm already past the halfway point. I will be done before the week's over. And in my mind, I was thinking, we got 2 weeks till we're going to Hawaii. We're going to be gone for a week, and I'm not going to have all this stuff done. And again, I just simply had to step back, rearrange that stuff in my mind, add a more positive spin to it, that I'm going to be able to finish it. There was a couple things that popped up short notice in the last couple of days that this needs to be done, or you need to get to this property. And my first reaction to it was anger. I was like, fuck you, I'm not going there. I can't get there. I've got too much shit to do. There's no way I'm driving to that side of town when all the other work I have is on this side of town. It's not getting done till I get to it. That was my reaction. And my words were very similar to that, not quite as abrupt, but that was my reaction. And I had to step back and say, I'm not making things better. And I did it. I just factored it in. It was simple. I just said, all right, I'm just gonna drive there. Yeah, it was an hour extra out of my day, out of my way to go do this, but I did it. And it was another post-it I could throw away. It was another thing that I checked off, and it gave me more of a sense of satisfaction because I was already taking a full workload into the day, thinking that I was just barely going to make it by, and I added extra things into it and still got it all done. So when the day was over and I'm looking at my clean desk and I'm looking at my inbox and I'm saying, all right, all my stuff is done, I've followed up on everything, and nobody's mad at me. And that's the thing. I'm trying to avoid people getting mad at me for failing to meet their expectations. Now, we're not going to talk about expectations again today, but so I felt good. And I left work and I was driving, and again, my drive every day is very reflective of the world I see. Again, I'm able to find ways to explain what I see, which I've already said before is it's sometimes very difficult to take what I see and explain it in a way that other people can understand it. But I find a lot of metaphors and symbolism and reflection in the way we act on the roadways, and again, I'm not going to elaborate on that, but I was driving home and going through traffic, and you have to be mindful of driving. I mean, you have to be aware of everything that's going on around you. You have to be aware of the rules. You have to be aware of the expectations, just like living every day in life, and navigate and negotiate your path to get to where you're going. And traffic was the same as normal. There was just as much backup, just as much congestion, but I was able to very easily navigate it. I was able to merge in where I needed to merge in. I was able to change lanes when I needed to change lanes. I was able to accelerate and pass people that were going slower if I needed. And it hit me yesterday. I was driving home. This is easy, and it's easy because I wanted it to be. And everything that we do in this world can be the same way if you have that same mindset. If you go into it thinking, I can do this, I understand, I am clear, I am focused, I am aware. Then you can do it. It's easy. And I felt very relaxed driving home. I felt very comfortable cruising at the speed I was cruising and navigating and negotiating it. And I had removed the tension and anxiety from the situation, and allowed me to enjoy what I was doing and do it easily. And it just bolstered that idea that it's the approach, it's the mindset, entering it and following it, that affects the path that you're on, and the ease that you are able to follow that. And I got home, I was in a good mood, and was able to get outside and do a bit of a workout, although mosquitoes forced me back inside after a short period of time, but not a big deal. And I was able to sit and relax the rest of the night and just enjoy what I have, and it was good. And I think I'm going to leave off at that because I have things to do, and as much as I'd love to just sit and talk and talk and talk and talk, and someday coming up here soon, that will be my reality, where I can just sit and talk, and that will be how I support myself, how I earn money, how I make a difference in the world. And I'm excited for it. I'm looking forward to it, but not at the expense of the now.